Hey, so today is Book Saturday. I decided to make this kind of series. I'm not going to do it every Saturday, but I am going to talk about books on Saturdays, just generally. So today, I've decided to show you one of my very, very, very favorite book series. There's 12 books to the series, and I do have all 12 books. And now I'm going to talk about them. It's written by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. They're a mother-daughter duo. It's amazing. Like, I started reading them when I was 13 years old, and I would still read them again. I would eat them all up again, even though I know like the whole story and stuff. Like, I started reading them in this order. Like, I started by number 6 because I thought that was the first book. I bought it in Best Buy, and I asked the guy, like, "Is this the first book?" And he said yes. So I started reading it, and I didn't get anything. I was like, "What is this?" And for a minute, I was like, I didn't like it because I didn't understand. But then I started liking it because the characters were legit so amazing. And I was like, I need to understand this because I was so stressed out. I was very stressed out because I didn't know what was going on. And then I found the rest of the books and I was like, oh, this is a series. So I bought the others, like all of the others, and started like reading all of them. And I bought them in disorder even. Like I bought one, two, three, five. I had seven. I bought one, two, three, five, and then I bought the number six. And then I found number four in Spanish, which kind of ticks me off. Like, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Like, this is the Spanish one. This is the English one. It's bigger. It's bigger and it has the image, and it's from a different editorial, and it's in Spanish, and it's like in Spain Spanish. So, it really stresses me out that they're different. And it's 12 books, but I read them, like each of them, in an afternoon because they're so fast paced and they're so easy to read. It's totally colloquial language. Like, it's teenagers talking, and you can see it's teenagers talking. And when the adults talk, you can see it's an adult talking. And then there's adults who are like 100 years old, and they speak like they're 100 years old. It's amazing. The series all around is about like vampires, but they're not vampires. It's like different kind of vampires. They get like marked, like they're all chosen somehow. And when they're 16, they're marked, which means they're like named vampire fledglings or students. So they're like vampire babies. They cannot be alone. They have to be around adult vampires, or they'll like die. Like they'll cough up blood and die. And then there's some kids who don't survive the change and they die as well. And it usually happens when they're around 16, so it's kind of when they start high school. And it's the 4 years of high school, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, but they use numbers. They use first, third, second, third, and stuff. There's this, I don't know, it's really nice. So in this, they all get introduced, and she gets like her gang. She has a gang, which is made up of um, a lot of kids. Ray, which is her best friend, and then the twins. They're not actually twins. They're actually from different races. Even one of them is black and the other one is white, and they're both beautiful. They're the twins. Their names are Erin, and the other one is Shawnee. Yeah, the blackest black name ever. But yeah, her name is Shawnee. And then there's a gay guy named Damien, and then she has like a boyfriend. His name is Eric. Then she has like another boyfriend. Like, she has 5 boyfriends in the whole series. And she has a human boyfriend, and she has her vampire boyfriend, and all these boyfriends. She has all of the boyfriends because also it's a matriarchal culture, the one of the vampires. So each vampire woman can have a lot of boyfriends. Like, she can have her human consort, which is a human that she sucks blood from, but it's like a sexual kind of experience sucking blood from someone. So yeah, the human consort, and then there's they can have their vampire mate, and then they can have their vampire warrior, and they're the three of them. They're their boyfriends, and sometimes they don't have, like, sometimes they just have one person, one like significant other. Sometimes they have like the three significant others. It depends on the person. Anyway, so that's the first book, and then it's Betrayed. And okay, so I know them by memory. It's Marked, Betrayed, Chosen, Untamed, Hunted, Tempted, Burned. Okay, I used to know them. I know them up until Burned. And I really love the characters. Like the protagonist, her name is Zoe. And to start with, she's a person of color. She's Cherokee. Like she's Native American. So I love that. Like to begin with, I love that because there's not many sagas that feature a protagonist of color. Much, even less a female. Like she's a woman of color and she's the protagonist of this thing. And it's amazing because she's so human. And I know that sounds like a stupid thing. Like, of course, you're impressed that a character is human. Like, no. No. Like, you see Hermione Granger, and yes, she's flawed and stuff, but, like, she's in the stereotype of the nerdy girl. Like, I love Hermione Granger. She's still perfect. And she's one of the most human characters in book sagas ever. But, like, Bella Swan. No. Bella Swan. Yeah, Bella Swan. No, what's her name? Because there's Emma Swan from Once Upon a Time. There's Bella from... Okay, Bella from the Twilight series. I read those a long time ago. And she's just bland, you know? Like, she's weak and stuff. And people don't like that. It's, like, anti-feminist. The fact that her character is like that and stuff. And she's, like, a Mary Sue and shit. And yes. And then there's Katniss Everdeen, who's, like, really strong, and she's like, oh yes, I'm a woman. Like, not really, she doesn't really acknowledge the fact that she's a woman. She's like really strong, and she's like, I don't need a man. And then she goes and gets herself a man anyways, but she doesn't need a man, and she's like a hero and stuff. And then you see Zoe Redbird. She's a 16-year-old, much like Bella and Katniss. She's 16 years old, and by the end of the series she's like 18. And you see her change, and you see she's a girl, and she's scared, and she's weak, and then she's strong. Like, she has powers, and, like, all of the vampires have powers. And she's supposedly overly powered, which is, like, amazing. She was chosen by the goddess or something. And you see that she's powerful. And you can see that, like, when you're reading it, you're like, oh my god, she's so powerful, but she doesn't believe it. She's like, no, I'm just a kid. And she's so human, and she gets scared, and she falls in love, and then she falls out of love, and then she has, like, a lot of boyfriends during the series, and in the end she ends up with one. And it's amazing. Like, she even dates a teacher at some point. And I don't know, it's really cool. And then she sees all her, like, not all her friends, but some characters die. And you see her go through that. And it's so horrible. Like, this is the first book saga that actually made me cry. Because a lot of characters die, and you see her go through it, and you see the pain, like, in her. And she's not, like, being tough through it, or just throwing herself to the ground crying. She's just genuinely feeling the pain of losing someone. And she loses so many people, and with every person she loses, it's a different reaction. Like, at one point, spoiler alert, one person dies, and she actually breaks, like, literally breaks. Like, she falls into a coma because her soul broke. And that's, like, the plot of one of the books. Because they have to get her back and shit. And it's amazing. Like, you see, like, it's so painful for her to lose this person. I'm not gonna say who it is. It's so painful for her to lose this person that she actually broke, like, physically. She's physically broken. And her soul is scattered into pieces, and she has to put them back together. And it's quite literal, and it's amazing. And I also love how she's not the only one who has, like, a couple, you know? She has lots of significant others in the length of the series. And her friends have significant others too, and you see those relationships, and they're beautiful. Like, it's not just her and her love story. There's love stories for everyone, and it's amazing. And then you see how some love stories don't end well, and they end in one of the people in the relationship becoming evil, or or there's people cheating on each other, and it's not necessarily the protagonist, but you still care because you learn to love these characters. There's 12 books to these series. You really have time to fall in love with each and every one of these human beings, and it's amazing. They're all so human. The villain too, like the main villain, her name is Nefret, and she's so human, and I love that. Like, even though she believes herself a goddess, she believes herself to be superior, she's still human and makes really human mistakes, and I love that. In all of the books, they all have stuff like that, and all of the characters are like that. They're all very human. There's reasons as to why they are the way they are, and it's so beautiful. It's genuinely a beautiful thing. So I really, really, really hope you read them, like all of the books. Also, the duel, like anything these women get out, I'm probably gonna eat it up because they are amazing. Like, not even the story, not even the characters, their way of writing. It's just so easy to read, and it's just so amazing. And I love them. Like, they're two of my role models in when it comes to writing. And yes, I love these books, and I really hope you read them.